guys, welcome to another episode of Financial Friday. Excited to have you with me. As you can tell, I'm not doing this in the church. This is an off-site location, so and not in the church building, but out here enjoying some of the weather, and it's not raining, so therefore it's kind of nice out here. But this week, this is episode number 13 of Financial Friday, and I wanted to talk to you about doing the important things. Stop doing the important things occasionally and start doing the important things daily. This is very important. When you start talking about your financial, increasing your capacity, start changing your finances, one of the most important things I think I can tell you is you got to stop doing what you were doing that was not important. So, we get into this, so probably the best example I can think of is, we get into this daily routine of, doing stuff financially and not watching what we spend and not paying attention to where our money's going. And so we get in this daily routine and we're just kind of doing the same thing every day again. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but we get in this routine where we may be stopping by Starbucks or some place like that, Panera Bread, and we're spending, $5-6 every morning on coffee. And it's like, we've got free coffee at the office, but we're in a habit now of stopping by. And so we've got these things that are not very important that we're doing. And we need to start thinking about things that are important to us and start doing them more often and do them every day. So for instance, when we get in the middle of a budget, we ought to have a budget. And so am I telling you not to stop by and get a coffee or a muffin or whatever you like? No, I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you that you need to have a budget and you need to have a plan. And so if I set aside some money each week, then I can stop by there and say, okay, on Fridays, I'm going to stop by Starbucks and I'm going to splurge and get a muffin and a coffee, and I'm going to do it every Friday. And I'm going to set aside this money. And so then I start making paying off bills and stuff like that is a higher priority. And so what I'm doing is I'm training myself to expand my capacity when it becomes into the financial realm. So stop doing important things occasionally and start doing them every day. And so budgeting is one of those financial important things that we need to be doing every day. And so you're saying, well, Pastor, should I be looking at my budget every day? Yes, you should be somehow looking at your budget every day and determining if Am I on track, off track? And that's something you got to do every day. You can't wait. Here's another great example. Imagine an airplane. If the navigation is off 1%, and so we're going to fly, 400 or 500 miles. So when you first get off 1%, that's no big deal. You're still going to land close to where you want. But if you multiply that 1% times 500 miles, by the time you get to your end destination, you may be off several miles from where you intended to go. And so, if you were planning on landing in London, you may have ended up in Siberia or whatever. That's extreme, okay? I know that's an extreme example, but you know what I'm talking about. If you get off just a little bit, then down the road, you're off a large margin. So and when it comes to budgeting and finances, if you're not looking at it and doing it daily, at the end of the year or at the end of the month, when you start looking at it, then you're way off track. When if you're looking at it daily, you get off track and you can get back on track. And so you keep yourself in that perspective of staying close and staying done. So here's another point. If we consider something important, then it's worth our time and our energy to be doing it daily. If we determine that something's important, then it's worth our time to be doing it every day. And I'm sure you have other stuff in your life like this that priorities to you. I mean, for instance, when our children were younger, our children were a priority. And so we didn't wake up on a Tuesday and go, we don't have kids anymore. No, every day our kids were a priority and they needed our attention and they needed our time and our energy. And so as they got older, obviously, some of you guys may have older children, as you know, as they get older, sometimes them time restraints and those demand restraints lessen and they get better. Praise the Lord, love that. Now I have grandkids and it's even better because I can focus for my grandkids on one entire weekend, and then come Sunday afternoon, I take them back to their mom and dad. And sorry to say this, but they're no longer my responsibility. They're mom and dad's responsibility. But for that Friday, Saturday, and then morning of Sunday, they get my 100% attention. But as soon as I take them back Sunday, then they're back to their mom and dad's responsibility. So things that are important to you are worth spending some time on and worth spending some time daily. One more point. We will always have urgent and pressing needs, but we cannot allow them to steal all of our time and energy. Let me say that again, we're always going to have pressing and urgent needs. Things are going to happen that are pressing and urgent, but we cannot allow them to continually steal 100% of our time. Basically, we cannot remain in crisis mode all the time. If we're going to expand our financial capacity, we've got to learn how to manage emergencies and crisis. So one of the key principles to most every financial person out there that's going to do any kind of financial teaching is you need to have an emergency fund. Now, you can vary on that. You know, Gary Keesee talks about having $2,000. Dave Ramsey's big deal for years has been $1,000. I'm not here to tell you what's right or wrong. I'm just telling you that both of those gentlemen, Joe McGee talks about having money set aside. Whatever that money is, I don't care how much it is, whatever's safe for you, whatever you feel like is safe for you, to have some money set aside will handle emergencies so you don't have to spend all your time focused on emergencies, because we can go from emergency to emergency to emergency. I'll never forget my life-changing event is we had a flat tire. And Laura and I had set aside an emergency fund. And you say, well, a flat tire, big deal. No, it was a big deal, because in years past, when we had a flat tire and we had to come up with $150, $200 out of our daily budget, something wasn't getting paid. Water bill wasn't going to get paid on time. Electric bill wasn't going to get paid on time. Something would happen. We just didn't have any money set aside. But once we built up that emergency fund, and then I had that flat tire, I went down, got a new tire, had it replaced. I think I had both of them replaced so that both backs would match and stuff. Walked in there with my emergency fund money. I paid it. There was no stress. There was no worry. It caused me no anxiety for the day. That was not an all-day event. I immediately made an appointment, went in, took care of it, done. A life-changing event for Laura and I to have that money set aside where an urgent matter or something that was normally causing us pain was no big deal. We just took care of it and it was done. We need to have consistency in important things. Last point, we need to have consistency in important things. So if we're talking about expanding our capacity in our financial world, we've got to have consistency. I go back to my budget thing. Whatever budget you set up, however you do that, you've got to be consistent. You've got to stay consistent with your budget. You've got to stay consistent daily with your budget. You can't do a budget on Excel sheet one day and then you have it on the envelope system the next day and then you have it on your iPhone the next day. No, whatever you do, whatever you choose, whatever works for you, whatever system works for you, you need to do it, and you need to do it consistently. Hey, I appreciate you watching. This was Financial Friday number 13. I enjoy having you guys watch and interact with this. If you have any comments, list them in the link below, in the comment section below. Please like and share this video, and you can always hit the notification bell and be reminded of all of our Financial Fridays. You can also catch them as a podcast on Anchor.fm at any time if you want to go back and watch some of our previous episodes in podcast form. And so it's on all the major channels, iTunes, Google, Spotify. And so shout out to all my podcast listeners. I know I have a few out there. And so shout out to you guys. I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. Hey, thanks for joining me. We'll see you next Friday.